Hope you well. Yeah, just thought I'd do a quick video. Just about to take dogs for a walk, and I've not really put a video up since the last one I've posted, which has done really well. I didn't expect it to get as much views as it has. Best thing about it is I'm not alone, which is great. I'm so glad, because I honestly thought that I was on my own in this world with this sort of, everything that's going on, weirdness. I did feel like I was a loner, but it's nice to see I've got so many people supporting the reason why I left. A lot of people don't quite understand it, so hopefully in this video I can explain it a little bit better, why I didn't just scan my face. Yeah, the passport and driving license got like my biometrics on. Yeah, I get that. I get that there's cameras all over England. I get that there's cameras on self-checkout services. I get all that. And it freaks me out. Don't get me wrong, it freaks me out. And I'll get into it in this video. So if you can just bear with me, I'm not very good at explaining things very well, but I'll try my hardest with you. Now, I've just got the dogs in the back as well. Sorry about that. Who's that? They're just really excited to go for a walk. Sorry, Zen. There's two. There's Frankie and Elsa. Anyway, right. So basically, the main reason why I didn't want to scan my face is because the employer put this facial recognition system in place because they wanted to monitor the staff clocking in and clocking out, and it was storing biometric data. It was getting all your measurements and everything, and they didn't fully understand what they were asking the staff to do. Now, the rest of the staff, there was two lads in a fitting shop that were like me, and they ended up doing the scan in the end. I was the only one that didn't. In the whole, there's 250 staff, and I was the only one that didn't want to do it. So that's why I felt like it was weird. I felt like the weird one, because everyone was like, just scan your face. But what they were asking me for is classified as special data. You can't change your face measurements. And I get that it's on all these cameras around the government. It's on my passport. It's on my driving license. I get that. But why should my employer have that data? That's my point. And the way he did it, he never told us there was an alternative. He never told anyone it was being put in place. They literally came up to me on my welding bay and just said, can you go and scan your face in the facial recognition machine? And I was like, you kidding me? What? And that's how it was. There was no meeting. There was absolutely nothing. It was just go and get it done. And when I went to the machine, I asked the guy that was putting it in place, what'll happen if I don't? And he said, you might not get paid. The bosses probably won't pay you. Like, so straight away I was like, right, where do I put my name? Because you're threatening me. I just saw that as a threat, and I was like, what? You can't do that. Anyway, the longer it went on, this went on over a few months, and I asked them every single question. They told me there was no third party. The data was secure. Then there was a third party. It wasn't them that was storing the data. Then when they went to find the data, they didn't know where the data was stored. There was so much to it. It was red flags the whole way. And I said, I'm not doing it. We're on a fobbing system. I've never been late. I've never had a day off sick. I work my ass off. I was like, you don't need to ask me for this data. So that was one of my main reasons. And then obviously there's so much more to it, but that was my main reason, that the employer was taking more freedom, more power from the employee. And it's wrong. You can't do that. Then I was like, all these lads felt uncomfortable doing it, but they did it to keep the job. Now, we're on pretty much minimum wage for welders. We're on such a low wage, it's ridiculous. And I was like, they've took overtime away from you. They were kicking off on lads that were getting other jobs to make up for the overtime money. And then they just let 15 of us go, just like nothing. So I said, what happens if what happens if we keep allowing them to do this? Because they don't care about us. So I did it as a point, like, I'm not bending the knee to my employer. You can't do this. It's wrong. And he's morally doing something morally wrong. He didn't care. He really didn't care. And that's what upset me. And that's basically what's happening around the whole country, around the world. It's getting put in everywhere. And I'm not on about just facial recognition. I'm on about everything that we're told to do. Step in line and do as you're told. As soon as I didn't do as I was told, I started to get the name calling started. And, well, I'll buy you a brew for the rest of the year if you just scan your face. I don't want to lose a good workout. That's bribing. And I get why they're doing it. They're just trying to be nice. They don't want to lose me as an employee, but you're bribing me to do something that I don't feel comfortable doing. And this is the problem we've got in England. All these people, they don't want to scan the face, but they also don't want to lose the job. Now, they choose to go to work for someone that is taking more freedom away from them. And they're basically brainwashed. All these men at the moment around England, they are literally being brainwashed into doing as they're told. Everything that's happening to men, they're demasculating us. They're making us feel worthless, and they don't like it when someone like me stands up in what he believes. They don't want that. They don't want a me. They do not want me walking around because they can't control me. I'm too free and I'm happy. I don't, and the reason how they've trapped these men is because they are throwing gambling in your face, advertisements to buy things. Social media has created it. Social media is the best thing for the government because everyone wants to pretend that they're happy, and they think that happiness is owning financed cars and maxed out mortgages and holidays every couple of weeks that they can't afford, and expensive food, takeaways. People say they can't afford food, but they're getting takeaways 3 times a week now. Some people get them every night. That's not freedom. Being in debt is not free. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Now, there's a decent sized mortgage that you can have, and one partner can afford to have that. There's no stress then, because if someone loses a job, you're not panicking to find another job. You're kind of like free. Whereas if you have a maxed out mortgage and someone loses the job, and you've got a financed car, a financed chair, a financed fridge, you're gambling at the weekend to try and make some money, which is never going to happen because it's gambling, stuff like that, you're not free. You think you are, you think you're going to win, but you're not. No one really, outside your little bubble, no one is happy that you have that fancy car, because at the moment, everyone knows that you don't own that fancy car. That fancy car owns you. You drive to work for 30 minutes and then you drive home for 30 minutes at night, but you go to work in a job that you're not happy in, that you have to do as you're told to keep the job, to pay for the car that makes you happy for 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening. And then you go home, you're stressed, you take it out on your partner. You don't mean it, it's just what happens. And you're stressed because you're not free. You feel trapped. You've been brainwashed into this lifestyle that makes you think that you're doing well and you're successful, but you're not. You could be on 50, 60, 100,000 pounds a year, but if you've got loads of debt and fancy things, you're not actually earning that. You're earning that money, but that money's gone at the end of the year. You've got nothing left. And everything that you own, apart, maybe a house will go up in value, but your car won't. Your chair, your sofa, your fridge, freezer, all these new things that you're getting, they won't. They all crash down, they're devalued straight away. You'll never get that money back. So all those thousands of pounds that you're spending each year is actually not making you happy, and you'll never get that back. You know, you throw away 50 quid every weekend, and then one weekend you make 200 quid from gambling. You think you've hit the jackpot, but you haven't, because you've spent £1,000 over the year trying to get that money back. Some people throw their life savings into it. You're mad. because they really want to get rich quick. It's all there to brainwash you into believing that being rich makes you happy. And I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money, but I don't have to panic to find another job. I managed to lose my job and not go and have a nervous breakdown or run straight into the next one. Even though I felt sick on the day, on the video that I did, I felt sick. I knew it was coming, but I still felt ill because they let me go from a job. It's like losing that security. It's not a nice feeling. But now I've had about 3-4 weeks nearly to think about it and sort my life out. I'm happy now because I've got a little bit of structure back. I've got jobs in place to do. I've got work to keep me going. And the work that I've got is less hours and more money doing something that makes me happy. And I can work around it. So, although I was happy in that job and I was sad that I lost it, I'm still happy now. I'm just still a little bit insecure because it's like imposter syndrome. I'm not used to pricing up jobs for other people because that's always just been, I just get paid for doing a job for someone and they make thousands out of me. I was doing a bus chassis, 2 bus chassis a day. I was doing them in less than 5 hours. And they expected them to be done in 8. I was doing 2 a day. They were getting about 6.5 to 8.5 grand for those chassis, and I was doing 2 a day. So they were making thousands of pounds out of me, and they let me go like that. And it was good quality, and I had to redo people's work. So, you know, I was a good member of staff, and just because I didn't scan my face, he let me go. And eventually, England will have people that are like me, that are like you, that understand, they take pride in what they do, and they have morals, and they're good people. We care about other people, and that can sometimes be our downfall. But we will leave England. I don't want to, but at the moment, it's just everyone is so weak because they've got so much bad debt that they're not free, and they have to step in line. They can't go and stand on the streets for weeks without having to worry about a job because they're not free. No one's free in England. All the people at the moment in England are brainwashed into believing this lifestyle choice that they're all making is the right choice, and it's not. There's so much debt in England. We're looking at getting a recession soon. I don't know when, but I know it's coming. And although people think they're safe in their jobs and they're complying and doing as they're told, they'll get dropped like that. And then they'll go home, their house will crash, they won't be able to pay the mortgage, it'll get repossessed, they'll lose everything. That is not freedom. That is not freedom. We're not creating anything in England to sell to other countries anymore. There's no money coming into England. It's a massive other topic, but there will be another recession. And if you've got to think to yourself, if you go into work tomorrow and lose your job, are you free? Do you feel safe? Because it'll get taken away from you just like that. So we've got to make people realise that the life choices that they're making at the moment, they're being brainwashed. The sheep are just following each other into this canyon. And there's a drop at the end of it. And they're all just walking into it, into the unknown. And there could be something to soften the fall, but there might be nothing. But they keep doing it. They keep just, well, you know, if I pay the bills this month, I'll be all right. You know, I'll keep my job and blah, blah, blah. What happens when that changes? If you're worried about that, you're not free. And that is my main reason why I wanted to stand my ground, and it was my choice. A lot of people commented like, it doesn't make sense why you didn't scan your face, and I get that. Unfortunately, you can't understand how I feel, but it's so good to have people out there that still believe like me. They're still like true British people, and we're not being pushed over. We're nice people and we care about people, but if you push us into a corner, we can turn nasty. We can. And I don't want to get pushed into a corner, But I want to make sure that if it ever happens, I have got people out there that can understand why I am who I am. I do it for my future daughter, for my daughter's future, sorry. I want her to be safe, and I don't want her in this weird dystopian world, because it's not good for us. We need to be free. At the end of the day, we're all animals. We don't want to be caged up like zoo animals in these 15-minute cities. It's madness. Anyway, take care, everyone. I hope you understand. Thanks again for liking the last video and all the comments. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Absolute legends. Thank you. Take care. Bye.